My name is Ginger Quinlan. I'm a psychic medium. I do this for a living 24/7. It's also part of my life. I couldn't imagine not having my gifts with me all the time because I've grown so used to them over the years. I've been doing psychic medium work for the past almost 34 years now. And what I've learned is it's not really just something that you have to learn and learn and learn. It's something that you're born with and you have to wake it up. So in my 34 years of practicing to be a psychic medium, honing my craft, honoring what I feel, see, hear, and taste, and know, I've learned that no matter how hard you try to ignore it, it's going to come up and say hello. And for that I'm grateful, because if my gifts, as other people call it, hadn't come up and said hello to me over and over and over and over again, I would not be doing what I do. I really wanted to be a concert pianist when I was young. I thought that's the way to go. That's what I love. I love music. I love being on stage. I love entertaining. Spirit had other plans for me though, because I was not one of those gifted piano students who could just crank out a song and play it so easily like it was butter melting on toast with no effort at all. No. I was a girl who was in the basement playing piano over and over and over again, trying to memorize the first few stanzas of every single piece my piano teacher gave me. I realized I wasn't going to be a piano teacher or a piano student or a concert pianist when I listened to a girl in my church when I was about 15 years old who could sit down at the piano and play a beautiful Bach sonata from start to finish without any music. She never broke a sweat. She never looked worried about memorizing those notes. And I thought to myself, Ginger, you gotta do something else. There was something else that I could do, something that I fought with my entire childhood because it was so invasive to my soul at the time, and I couldn't talk to anyone about it. My parents couldn't listen to it. They didn't want to listen to it. I didn't have friends that I could tell. My siblings didn't have the same thing going on with them, and I thought it just has to be a secret. I can't tell, I can't talk about it, so it has to be bad. What I was experiencing every single night of my young life were spirits coming into my room. Sometimes they were friendly, sometimes they weren't so friendly. Sometimes it terrified me, other times it made me feel really joyful. Through that experience I learned to shut up and not tell. It was my biggest secret. I couldn't tell anyone. And I didn't want to, because I didn't want them to look at me and think I was absolutely Looney Tunes, even though I felt Looney Tunes for most of my childhood. I knew I was different. I could see people, and then I could see other people, shapes of people around that very person I was looking at. Even in school, walking up and down the hallways, I would see people. I would smell them, I would hear them, I could taste them. I knew who they were. I could hear buzzing noises that turned into words. Sometimes they would come up to me and just give me a message. I didn't know what to do with that. I really was the kid in the movie The Sixth Sense. It was terrifying. Then as I grew older, I learned how to shut it down. I stopped acknowledging it. I stopped saying, okay, you're not going to scare me. And I basically said, you are not going to scare me, so stop it. And they stopped for a little while. I got older, I got married, turned it off even more. Said, this is not going to work for me. I cannot listen to those of you on the other side. I do not want to know things about people the minute I touch them or the minute they shake my hand. I don't want any of that anymore. So I shut it down even further. And in that process I shut down my own emotions because I was really turning off a vital part of who I was and who my soul was trying to be. I didn't know that at the time. I certainly know it now. At 28, I got divorced. And then I met a man who was very into intuition, into earth religions, into being exactly who you are with no apologies. And at that time, I stopped filing my feelings. I started letting them come out, and with that came my intuition. Along with that came the dad to say hello all over again and begin to visit my dreams, visit my nights, visit my days, visit me in every single thing I did. I couldn't ignore it anymore, so I stopped trying, and I embraced it. And during that time, I was given a deck of tarot cards. I thought they were evil because I was raised Southern Baptist and Presbyterian and Lutheran, kind of a combination of all three. Tarot cards were not something a good, God-loving girl should play with. So when I first got them from this amazing man, I hid them in my purse and I thought, oh please don't let anybody know that I have a deck of tarot cards, and I love them. I don't just love them, I love them. I practiced every single day. As soon as I got off work, practice, practice, practice. As soon as my children went to bed, practice, practice, practice. I practiced on everybody I could get my hands on. And pretty soon they started coming back and saying, Ginger, what you said happened. It all came true. And I would sit there and look at those tarot cards and think, wow, these are the best tarot cards a person could ever want. I really thought it was the tarot cards doing it. I had no clue it was me. As time went on, I continued practicing. I found a metaphysical store to go join and learn and take classes and meet other people who were just like me in a whole lot of ways, open to spirit, open to messages, talking about their guides and angels, practicing, 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 which is the key to opening up your intuition. I didn't know it at the time. I know it now. So I was working really hard on trying to raise my vibration, trying to become more comfortable with the things that were coming through to me constantly, all day, every day. And now, after all this time, I can honestly say I've made friends with that part of me that knows things, sees things, feels things, tastes things, hears things. I've made friends with the fact that I'm supposed to go out into the world and help people